Hello, princess. I know. Just starting off the bat strong, I guess. Alright. Okay. Ah, moon runes. Hello. Listen to princess. Alright. And here we go. Hello. Hello, everybody. Hello, moon runes. It has been too long. How are you? We miss you too. Princess just knew you were coming, so apparently just hopped on up there. Let everybody know. Let Moon Runes know how much you miss her. There. There you go. How goes it, Moon Runes? How's life? How's the job? Hopefully going well. Not too bad, I hope. You're on lunch, yep. So sadly I won't be able to stay long. That is alright. That is alright. After this weekend, I am going to try to have a Sunday stream set up. I forgot that I had one more stupid football game I have to work. One more football game, and then the season's over. So I should be free, and hopefully I can do like a Sunday game stream or like a late Sunday work stream. But I've been trying. The weekends just are brutal. It's getting better, but it's going. LOL. Gotcha. Yeah, sometimes that's just the way it goes. But I hope that would be awesome. We are trying. I've been trying to write more before work and on the weekends. I know writing around work is such a pain though. I don't know. I have a lot of trouble with it. Like, it's a lot easier for me if I have, like, the whole day, but if I'm having to, like, multitask, like, particularly, like, work stuff, it's, I don't know. For whatever reason, my brain just has a hard time focusing. I start, like, thinking about work, like, whatever job I have to go do, and I get kind of involved, and it kind of ruins the whole creative process for me. But it is. I didn't get out of bed till 1 p.m. today. I was so tired. Man, me too. Actually, today was weird. I ended up oversleeping my alarm by 2 hours, which just does not happen at all. Let me pop out of chat here. Yeah, I just kind of woke up, like, there was a part of me that was wondering if I was getting sick. Like, there's been a lot of, I feel like this whole winter season, there's been a lot of, I feel like I'm getting sick, and then I don't get sick. And I did get sick already, earlier on, I think in what was it, November? It was somewhere around, I think, November or December, I did get sick. But I just feel like sometimes I wake up and I am just, like, slogged. It's, like, brutal fatigue. I can just tell I'm run down. And I tried to, like, I've been trying to get back on, like, my workout routine and all that kind of stuff, and it's been brutal. The one and only time I ever slept through my alarm was when I was sick and full of NyQuil. See, that makes sense, yeah. Yeah, like, you're all drugged up. And that was a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, man. I wonder if it was just, yeah, I don't know what's going on. Maybe it is that I'm, like, fighting something off, but I'm not actually, like, outwardly displaying being really sick. I do not know. All I know is I would very much like it to stop. I'm very much tired of it. Like a couple of weeks ago, my routine has gone out the window. Yeah, the holidays trashed everything. I was on a routine of there's no semblance to anything going on in my life. Yeah, I get that, Moon Runes, for sure. I'm trying to get back. There was a period before the holidays hit where I was getting up at like 4:35 in the morning, and I was getting up at 4:35 in the morning, and I was going to sleep around like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and I was getting so much done. It was fantastic. It's also part of the reason why I moved streams earlier in the day, and that has gone out the window. I think I'm back to like falling asleep at 4 in the morning. I've just inverted my sleep schedule. And I'm like, yeah. And even then, I tried to set my alarm earlier, and it's just, apparently I just overslept. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I woke up feeling like I got hit by a bus. I used to get up at 6:30. every morning, and now it's lucky to get me up before 11 now. Yeah, I feel you there. Yeah, I definitely am on that like 9:30 to 10:30 train right now, and I need it. I need to start shifting it the other way, because I know the moment I start getting like travel work, this Prince is knocking over the mic. Um, the moment I start getting travel work again, where I have to be up, I have to go to the East Coast or Central, um, and I have to get up at like 6 o'clock in the morning there, which is effectively between 3 and 4 a.m. here. Um, like the reason I changed my sleep schedule is because that just destroys me. So it's gonna come. Like I'm definitely those jobs will come, I'm sure. So I need to get back on that schedule. I'm having a hard time of it. Same. I go to bed around 3-4 a.m. It sucks. Hello. I would be fine with it if the world accommodated me sleeping like that, but it doesn't. Like I'd be completely comfortable maintaining my night owl life, but the world does not agree with that lifestyle at all. So, unfortunately, I must adjust. Yes, the princess. Yeah, she was in a mood, but I think she's finally settled. She's finally settled in my lap. Finally. I feel like I'm being forced into the night owl life. Okay, well, yeah, because you're working nights, so that makes sense. You probably are. And then, that's the thing, is you get off late, and then you need, like, time to wind down. You can't just, like, go home and go to bed. That just doesn't happen. Even if you're exhausted. It's the thing I try to explain to people is when I was shooting my movie, you're already sleep deprived and exhausted and working 16-hour days, and you're doing it for, like, a month. But you don't just, like, go home and go to sleep. You can't just shut that part of you off. You're constantly going. So, by the time it takes like 2.5, 3 hours for you to finally start to feel sleepy and exhausted and tired, you're only going to get like 3-4 hours of sleep because you have to be up early the next morning. It won't be for a while, but I'm still trying to look for a day job. Yeah. I think if that feels like it's going to fit your life better, it works. But yeah, sometimes that shit takes time to find a job that's right, that pays enough, that's not going to make you miserable, and also fall into a schedule that, it's like, these shouldn't be hard things that we need in our lives, but for whatever reason, it's hard to get them because the world is terrible. At least the working world is terrible, but yes. But I hope you find something far better than what you have right now, Moonrunes. I find that I'm more of an afternoon person. That's when I'm most creative, but then I'm stuck at work. Yeah, I think I was getting pretty good at, like, when I was waking up super early, I was pretty good at working from 8 to noon, and then I would be about ready for like a nap. And then I could, like, and then I would stream. I'd like take a nap, I'd do some other stuff, and then I would stream from like 3 to about 6:30. Because I usually tried to be done by 7, and that worked okay. But I know, like, historically, where I would get most of my writing done and like my peak sort of flow mode was always after 5 p.m. It would be like 5 p.m. to about 9:30 or 10, and I would probably start running out of steam about 11. That's like my most natural. I think that's like the most natural place where I write or I would like work is between 5 and 11. Yeah, my old job that was 8 to 5 was perfect. I find something that, yeah, I think you know what I think sometimes? I think that's because of school. I think I was always like a zombie when I was in school, but when I would get home from school and stuff like that, you kind of like adjust, and then I would spend all my time after school. That's when I would go make movies with my friends, or I would sit and write a script, or something like that. And then usually by like 10:30, 11, you just wanted to, like, I would turn on like and watch anime or something on like Adult Swim. So a part of me wonders if I got into that cycle because of that, because that's like generally around the time you got home from school. Right, that makes sense. Same when it, same. That's when I would do all my reading. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's also why I didn't do homework. Is because usually I do all the stupid creative stuff and then try to cram homework in between 11 and 2 a.m. if I had homework. I was a terrible student. The fact that I was ever able to get into college surprises me. I was such a bad student. I was good in very certain classes with very specific teachers who apparently could crack whatever code it was to get me to engage with class, but for most of it, I was awful. But yeah. I'd be one of those doing their homework right outside classroom. Yeah, I did that. I definitely had that. Definitely had a lot of that. It's probably why I did so much better in college. For whatever reason, I also because of like engagement, what I was studying was more interesting to me than just like, you know, a lot of generic stuff that you study in school. You know, you're like quote unquote foundations, but it also was that you could kind of make your own schedule for the most part, not always. Like sometimes, you know, classes were only available at a certain time, but the fact that I was always able to essentially adjust my class schedules to like noon. Usually, most of the time, most of my classes when I was college, were post noon. I think I had a few 9, 10 o'clock classes because I had to, but not many. Almost everything I did was in the evening or the afternoon. Right, a little bit more leeway, yeah. Also, just as a schedule, it makes so much. I don't know. There's a part of me that like really hates the way that like K through 12 education is structured. I'm sure there's like you could probably go down and read a bunch of like psychology about what's better and what's worse for students, and then we're all different, so you know, different learning styles. But I there's just a part of me that's sort of like industrial mechanized, just class to class to class to class, you know, 15-minute break, lunch, just it's like, man, like maybe like have the kids like hang out and process what they did or something like that, or like I don't know. I don't know if it's the best way for people to learn when they're young. I mean, I guess they learn structure. They learn how to go to a 9 to 5 and just be in a place they don't want to be for 8, 9 hours a day. But beyond that, I don't know if it's good for learning. It wasn't good for me. My attention span was like a gnat. Yeah. I was in my own little world. It was very hard for teachers to. They had to like, it was hard for them to engage with me. I would just kind of like zone out, which I don't know if that was attention span or I could pay attention. It's just I couldn't pay attention to most of what they were teaching me. I was definitely of the hyper fixating, where I could like hyper fixate on a thing and would be like hyper obsessive. Artemis Point, welcome in. Hey, how goes it? How goes the day? Same. I just didn't understand what I was reading. Yeah, I would definitely have to like zone out while reading vibes. What are all those lovely words on screen? I finally got my Scrapple board to work for the Pond Boys, my Pond movie. Since I have to pull all this stuff, I do all my writing on my Mac side, and because I can only get streaming to work on the Windows side, because for whatever reason it would stream would just not work. It would crash after like an hour. Moon Runes remembers the days of watching streams where I was trying to do it on the Mac side, did not work. It got real mad all the time. So I do it on a Windows partition, and for whatever reason yesterday is I couldn't get my Scrapple board open. But essentially this is how I outline a movie. So this is me outlining my LA Hangout movie. And that is what I'm going to be working on today. Moon Runes. I tried to learn a little bit from you, Moon Runes, about being organized. It looks so much organized. It's still chaos. I'm going to have to split the difference. If it's too organized, I'll panic and I feel like I can't breathe. But I'm trying to split the difference. I'm trying to split the difference between chaos and organization. But that is what I am working on today. Unfortunately, I feel like I emotionally have to take breaks while reading Frantz Fanon's Wretched of the Earth and deep diving into like colonial theory and meditations on violence and the justifications of violence. Can only do that. Might only be able to do that a couple days a week just for my own mental health. Um, I'm working on a new scalpel and post it when I'm done. But alrighty, all right. Have a great rest of your day at work, Moon Runes. Take care, and yeah, I'd love to see the new scalpel for sure. Yes, don't no stresses, Moon Runes. Life calls, and sometimes that is how life works. But take care. Have a great day. Get some rest, and hope the words treat you well. And I think with that, we should probably actually go ahead and get started on our first sprint. So I think we're going to go ahead and rolling on. All right. Let me just boop, boop, boo. Get the music up, and let's get rolling, everybody. Happy writing, and we'll see you on the other side. And away we go. All right. And there we go, everybody. That is the end of that first sprint. Let me just bring the music down a little bit. Hello, or I'm, is it, or, sorry, I'm, or I'm you? Oh, I'm totally butchering. Oriem? Oriem? Oriemi? Sorry, I'm totally butchering your name. I'm terribly sorry. Or am you? Nice app. Yeah, it's Scrapple. It's I enjoy it a lot. Let's see here. Let me go back here. Let me start the downtime really quick. Hopefully them words treated you well. Twilight is really bad, but quite an enjoyable read. I've never actually read Twilight. Maybe I should give it a shot. I never attempted it. It wasn't really my jam, like subject matter wise, but I'm sure the prose in it are probably pretty breezy. Let's see. Something a badly written book is only badly written in terms of prose. Got it. Okay. But in terms of subject material and knowing their audience, that's actually pretty valuable. I'd agree with that, for sure. It's X-Men in actual high school. Yeah, that's kind of... Well, I mean, I've only ever seen the movies, but that's kind of the vibe, right? That's definitely... They're just, like, super powered... I mean, there's, like, a little bit of the, undead, gothy angst there, but... They just, each of them have a superpower, right? Like, one can read minds. I guess they're all super fast, but don't they each all have, like, an independent thing? So it is kind of like mutant powers. But they're in, like, they have to pretend like they're normal people. The trick is that the power is unique to their personality. Okay. Yeah, right. Okay, that's right. That's why, like, Edward can't read her mind, right? That's like the thing about her. Is that her special power, that she's like no one can read her thoughts or read her mind or know anything? She's like, that's like her thing. She's right. I'm literally going off the movies. I have no memory of that. Oh, and we do have ads popping in, so if you get hit by ads, I do apologize. They are rolling through. Gotta rock the... Yeah, gotta rock the capitalism, I guess. Yeah, because she's closed off or something? Got it. Okay, that makes sense. And also, welcome in, Emperor of Finland. Good to see you again. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope the words and the life are treating you well. The fact that the magic power is unique is what brings readers in. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like, I mean, I know a lot of fantasy writers tend to put a lot of effort into their like the kind of fantasy systems. So it's clearly, readers seem to like that kind of thing, the like highly detailed magic systems. This was a time when people didn't read manga. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, because that is like the thing is needing to, not the old days. It was super soft. Yeah. I mean modern, like just from some of the people I've seen on Twitch. I don't remember magic systems ever being super fleshed out in things like Lord of the Rings or in like the old Elric books or anything like that, or even like Vance, like the Dying Earth stuff. Even though it's funny because that's the foundation for D&D's like magic slot system, it doesn't even really work that way in the books, and it's not even super well. I guess it is kind of grounded in the lore of the world, but it's not like. I don't know. I just don't remember any of the Vancian stuff ever being very explicit. Maybe it was, and I just missed it, but I don't. Brandon Sanderson, Brent Weeks are the guys who brought hard magic in. Oh, okay, gotcha. Only Brandon Sanderson does it well. It's a bit too much in my opinion. Gotcha, yeah. I'm not in... That's not... Yeah, it's not my jam. I haven't... It's actually probably why I haven't read a ton of modern fantasy. I hate to say it, since I know a lot of people on writing Twitch. That tends to be what they write and what they read. And it's funny because I'm a manga and anime person. Like I watch a lot of that, but that's actually the stuff that drives me nuts about manga and anime is when they get too like hyper specific about like it's like Dragon Ball Z like reaching power level 9,000. It's just like I don't care. I just don't. I don't care about it. Just do the thing. That's what my fear is. The system is too complex for new people. Gotcha. Okay. All you need is my battery is full, half full, or empty. Oh yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Exactly, yeah. Well, because the whole reason that exists entirely is for stakes to come from it, right? It's one to keep your world consistent or keep the narrative, but it's also for drama. It's also literally there to try to your that system is in service of the drama. Like you're almost out. You're almost spent. So this is dramatic now. So I understand why you need to like know the rules a little bit, but the crucible is the crux of the story, not the oven and the mitts and the tongs. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, 100%. I think that's true. Yep. Exactly. But then again, I haven't even attempted. There's like a few fantasy films I've thought about writing. Um, I don't know if I'm fantasy and film is a very different thing though, and you do not in film. That's probably why I just don't read fantasy books that way, or a lot of fantasy books that deep dive into that because my world's in cinema, so it just does not. That's not how this works. Like you cannot deep dive into a magic system in a movie. You don't have time. You just don't. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. It even like got to the point where you could see them struggling trying to explain that with the D&D movie, where they were trying to get they did an okay job just trying to like explain as much as they really needed to make it dramatically relevant, but really you just need to make it dramatically relevant. The rest of it doesn't matter. Having said that, soft magic systems have the same problem. I mean, I guess it depends. It depends what, like how much. Yes, I mean, I guess it depends how much you rely on the magic system for the dramatic crux of your story. Where the authors think they can get away with not making magic a core part of their world. Yeah, I mean, but in some cases, I think it works. I mean, I would definitely probably take it where there's like a low magic versus like soft magic setting versus something, or like in a book versus like something that's high magic. But I do agree that like you can't just abuse it and be like there's a little bit of magic here and then not explore what that means for a world in a way. Let's see. When the authors think they can get away with making magic core part of the world, magic has to be at once the core part of the world and yet the backdrop prop. Okay, interesting. Okay. Yeah, if you have magic, the culture is fundamentally different. That's, yeah, okay, yes, yeah. I mean, well, dragons, too. If you have dragons, you have a completely different world. Like, that's just, yeah. If you're doing anything fantastic, you have to explore the idea of how that changes everything to a degree. Like, to a degree, unless you keep it, like, mythical. I think that's probably why a lot of magic systems that work best for me just rely on essentially general mythology, which is a form of... It's not even really explanatory. It's grounded more in like explaining natural phenomena, just in a magical way. You go into an office and everyone has a shotgun in their fingers. Yeah, exactly. The world is fundamentally different. Yeah, I mean that's the problem with like high magic. I guess. But then, like, where do you put things like Elric in that sense? Because Elric is, like, magic is there, it's just not easily achievable. Or, like, things like Robert E. Howard or like, the old Conan stories, which are very low magic, but they're not, like... And there's fantastic creatures, but they're still fundamentally alien and removed. So it's not like your dude down on the street has access to that. Magic equals evil. In those stories, magic is evil. Um, some of it is, yeah, yeah. Not all of them though. I mean, in some Conan stories for sure, but definitely not in Elric, because Elric uses magic a lot. Even Elric is a fundamentally evil being. At least he can. Well, yeah. Well, he's not an evil being. He's a self-loathing, angry man who wants to destroy the kingdom he comes from. Like, I don't think he was. Yeah, Elric is self-loathing, but he's not evil. He does evil things, but I don't think the books are written from the point of view of him being evil. Uh, that's the conceit, and you just said his motive. Well, yeah, his motive, but his motive is, his motive is that the empire of incestuous kingdoms deserve to die. So I guess you could argue if that's evil, but in a way, it's told from like a kind of, he's telling it almost in a weird. So magic equals hero, Elric equals good, magic equals evil. So wait, that's why he's the hero. So magic equals hero, Elric equals good, magic equals evil. Okay, I don't follow that logic. Your logic, that just went outside of. I don't follow that. Um, oh, okay. So magic equals hero. Yeah, magic. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. I really don't know. I don't think I agree with that. Because and even in Vancian stuff, I don't think the magic's inherently evil. It's definitely mysterious, but I don't know. Yeah, I love Elric too. I just don't. I mean, there's the sorcerers are evil. Like, there's definitely like the evil sorcerer, but I don't know if I'd. I don't know if I'd argue that magic itself, or how it's utilized in the Elric books, is fundamentally evil. Yeah, but I do love Elric. I also love that Michael Moorcock's response to Tolkien, where he called Tolkien a fascist. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with Moorcock in that sense, but I do find that deeply funny. That he is just like return to the good old days is fundamentally fascist. He's not wrong. It is a conservative trope, but I don't think Tolkien himself is actually a fascist. That's great. I love that. Yeah, he's not fascist. He's just a Brit. He's just very British. That's very true. I love it. Perfect. All right, everybody. I think it's time to dive into another sprint. And yeah, I don't know. I might have to quote that. I might have to, or that's really funny. It's a perfect way to describe it. All right, everybody, let's go ahead and dive back into another sprint. Happy writing, and we will see you all on the other side. everybody. And that is the end of the second sprint of the day. Hopefully it was productive and the words treated you well. And if not, progress is always progress. We're going to have an ad hit, so feel free to mute, step away, stretch, get a drink, get some tea. Do whatever you got to do to dodge whatever nonsense Twitch is going to try to advertise all you. But we will be here for the rest of the break and all that. And I think I'm going to step away real quick. I'll be right back. Having to stretch my legs because I had a cat for the last hour that was completely dead to the world. Oh, so I don't want to move. Various and sundry, howdy. How goes it? How goes the day? How goes the time zone, I should say. Day, evening, whatever it might be. Hopefully the words are treating you well. I was just saying I had to stretch my leg because of my cat was dead asleep on my lap, and I didn't want to wake her up, but my leg now does not want to move. It's going pretty good. Good Thursday. Hopefully oh, and here she comes again, coming back up. Come on. There you go. Hello. This is the princess. Everyone calls her the princess because she's a princess and she likes to shout into the mic. I know. Yeah. She's actually sometimes you'll catch her. Her paw can hit the bottom of the mic, which is where the volume control is. So sometimes she actually turns the mic off or mutes it, which I think is funny. Then she's just stop talking. Stop. Just shut up. Yeah. So anyway. I know, you're fine. Just go ahead. She's very mad that I had to get up and disrupt her nap, I guess. I know. Yeah, she's a vocal lady. She's a vocal lady. Oh man. All right. I am back on. I love chatty cats. Yeah, they're both chatty. The other one is asleep, I think. Yeah, he's well. No, I guess he's awake. He's grooming himself, but that's the big orange tabby back there. And then those are the two. Those are the two children. He usually only shouts at me when it's food related. Yeah, it's all food with him. All right. Oh my god. Twitch and these ads are outrageous. Bum, bum, bum. My cats stay in their own little hides in the living room for the most part. Oh, they do? Yeah. I mean, it depends on the mood they're in, but I definitely have very people-centric cats. Like, they kind of act more like dogs. They follow me around. They love to have their bellies rubbed. And, yep, and need constant attention. And do indeed tear the house apart if I'm gone. They will tear, like, everything will be torn open. They get very upset. They do indeed have separation anxiety. They wait for me at the door. I got cats and I got dog cats. Which will be funny because I'm sure if I ever if I'm lucky enough to have a dog again, um, I'm pretty sure that dog, like a Shiba or something like that, that dog will probably act more like a cat than my cats do. But that won't be for a while. These two furry babies are getting up there in age, so I have promised them a comfortable retirement. Uh, so I'm making sure I don't get any new pets since they're old. They don't need new rambunctious dogs and cats running around. And I've already had to live. I've already drugged them across the country, Lord knows how many times. I'm hoping that when I get my own cats, I get needy cats. My current cats don't like to be held. Yeah, she doesn't. She's a lap cat, so she doesn't like to be held. She'll like get. I think she doesn't like the feeling of not touching the ground because she really doesn't like it. And if you try to hold her, she'll just grab onto you. But she's a no. They're very cuddly cats. They need to be either near you, or like when I'm sleeping, they just shove it, like literally take over my pillow, so they'll like push my head off the pillow sometimes. Yeah, they're definitely needy, affectionate cats. I know. Just settle down. Okay, you're you're fine. Oh my god, my babies, my fur babies. I've had these two since I was in college, so they've been with me for a while. Isn't that right? How goes your writing? Good for today. I've moved on to my hangout movie. I'm writing my LA movie, which is, I guess, dubbed by Quentin Tarantino to be a hangout movie, but it's essentially just a movie following, kind of like a drama comedy, following two guys cleaning ponds and fish tanks, in like cleaning rich people's ponds and fish tanks in Los Angeles. So that is what I'm right now just working on, the sort of like general like structure plotting of the story. So it's going well. It's going well. This one's a little bit harder for me to write because it's those movies are kind of quote unquote plotless. Not that they don't have a plot, but they don't generally have the same like dramatic flow that more traditional narrative. Yeah, character driven. Yep, exactly. You're literally hanging out with the characters. Now they have goals and things that they want, and trials and tribulations and all that, but the problem is that because I'm framing it around cleaning ponds and fish tanks for rich people, and thematically it's kind of getting at, like, I have to have that to kind of deal with kind of what I want to say with the story. It does tend to, you want to be very careful about making it too vignette-y, particularly for like a feature film. You know, if you're doing like a TV show or something, you can kind of get away with that. But as a movie, you want to, if you're gonna do vignettes, you need to make sure that they kind of, they still build and they can refer back to each other, even if it doesn't refer back to previous elements like a plot would, where, you know, in a general story, the rising, quote unquote, rising action is always referring what came before it to inform what came after it to increase the dramatic tension. You're trying to get a similar sort of like interest in the story, but you need to do it in a not in a not dramatic, or I guess not like a general plotty way. You're trying to find, okay, well, what are these vignettes? How do they relate each other? How do they increase kind of the narrative or the character's urgency in whatever they're seeking or trying to do? So that's kind of the trick about it. So right now I'm just kind of spitballing point of view stuff from the character's point of view and scenes, general, like, okay, they're cleaning this person's pond, what happens during this pond or this fish tank, and then eventually I'll hopefully whittle it down to the ones that have the most meat on their bones that I can kind of poetically relate to the rest of the overall narrative. So it's a trickier one. It's definitely, some people would argue that the quote unquote hangout movies are the hardest movies to write because you have to keep people interested when nothing really happens. That's good. A nice challenge. It is a nice challenge. But I always swore I would write my LA movie, and because I actually did clean ponds and fish tanks for a long time in LA. I was like, this sounds like the better one to try to like really channel into, say the things I want to say about not just Los Angeles, but what it's like to live in Los Angeles, and, you know, the life of being being a not nepotistic wealthy person in Los Angeles, but also understanding that world and why that world is the way it is. And because you learn very quickly that a lot of those rich people that you kind of think about are equally as miserable and existentially lonely, even though they have gobs and gobs of money. That as much as you want to argue that, you know, money makes people happy, there is a point where, you know, because it's true, you know, you're not fighting off homelessness, but there's a sort of weird despair that comes with it that's interesting. At least interesting to me, just narratively. All right, everybody, I think it is time to dive into the next sprint. So let's go ahead and get to it. Happy writing, everybody, and we will see you on the other side. Oh, you beat me to it. Thank you, very sensitive. You beat me to it. That was good. Alrighty, everybody, and that is the end of that sprint. Bum, bum, bum. Just bring the music down a little bit. Alright, hopefully that sprint went well for everybody out there who's writing. Although it seems like many of us are struggling along. Although Nike will be looking pretty spicy, not gonna lie. Hey, Ghostly. That's don't start developing a NyQuil habit. Jeez. Various and sundry. I did not do any writing. That happens sometimes too. I feel like I started that sprint out real strong, and then just everything died. All of it died. So sometimes that happens. All right, I'm gonna start the down timer. We're gonna have ads rolling in here very shortly. So feel free to stretch, go make some tea, coffee, whatever it is you need to do. Dodge the ads. Don't let Twitch advertise terrible things. Ignore them and walk away. But yeah, we'll be here for just hanging out during the break when the ads get back. Ghostly, I'm sorry, that was entirely my fault. No, it was not, Ghostly. Although, Ghostly, for someone who says that you live the life of just a introverted writer who empathizes with other people's experiences, which you do and do well. You do have a very eventful life. I will say, definitely don't seem like you don't do anything. You've got all kinds of things. Emperor Finland, what experiences? Nothing happens on mine. We all have experiences. We all have things. Oh, I'm terribly extroverted. I just don't get emotionally attached. I mean, that's, some people are like that. Actually, one of my best friends was like that. She was great to be around if you're an introverted person, because she definitely was just like that. She didn't get emotionally attached to people, but she was a very, very solid extrovert. So it was very, very good. It helped me meet a lot of people being friends with her. She helped me a lot. Because I'm just like, I don't want to talk to anybody. Oh God, terrified to speak. If you're an introvert out there, one of the best piece of advice I can ever give you is definitely befriend someone like Ghostly, who is an extroverted person. You'll meet all kinds of people. I can predict what will happen from 6 months now. Okay, interesting. I will sit in my apartment and write the novel still in a similar manner. Emperor Finland, yeah. As much as I want to pretend like... I feel like my life was a lot more interesting when I was younger. As I've gotten older, it's just like, it just becomes you spend all your time working, pay your rent, sit here and write, try to get things done. I'm kind of hoping it's like a lull. Like, it's like, okay, I can do all my writing, all the creative stuff, and then I'll go have life experiences, and then come back and do that. But the problem is life experiences are expensive, and, that sort of thing. Anyway, I mean, yeah, that might not be anywhere. I live in LA, and I do not make a ton of money, so yeah, I spend a lot of time working to pay my bills. Ghostly, yes, I adopt the awkward children. I do not get emotionally invested. It's just platonic. Yeah. I have one of my best friends. I lived with her for many, many, many years, both in college and in LA, and she was like that. She had all of her weird little awkward children that she adopted, me included, yeah, that's still to this day one of my best friends. So highly I highly suggest hanging out with those people. I do not get emotionally invested, just platonic. Well, until said Marine comes along, but you've got this, Ghostly. I believe in you. You'll be okay. Working for rent, not here. I wish, right? I wish. I live in the boonies, so the only option is introversion. Well, yeah. I hope that's okay. That can actually be super detrimental, depending on, how much of that you need. I know some said friend, she struggled a long time when there was, and she actually still struggles to this day now that, we're older and people are having kids. And, like when you get older, things start to like segment. You know, people are different phases of their life, and you know, post COVID too made things extra weird. But like, you know, people start like, you know, they're starting families, they're doing those sorts of things. So if you're not in that world, you definitely start to like lose some of that. And I know it's like for her, she struggled with it. She still struggles with it, where she needs those people, those experiences to be able to be out and, you know, and all that. So being like deprived of that is rough. It's pretty bad, yeah. Well, I hope you find an outlet for that, various and sundry, because that is, it's not, if you are an extroverted person, or at least extroverted, at least to the point where like you feel like it's a lack in your life that you do desire to be able to be around more people. I hope you find an outlet or something that's like healthy and good that you're able to explore, because it's hard. It really is hard, particularly if you're isolated. And I have a lot of family members that live up in the mountains that are very heavily isolated, and one of them, who I try to talk to as much as I can, he struggles with that very much. And he's a pretty introverted person, but he struggles with the isolation. Um, Ghostly, we do not need to talk about the marine effect right now. I know, Ghostly. Don't worry. You'll be fine. Just focus on the words. Just focus on the words right now, Ghostly. That's all you got to think about. Once I get my nursing degree, I'm out of the sticks forever. Good. Congrats. I hope that, and that's huge, man. Nursing's a big thing. Nursing's a big thing. Orihamid. Old versus young, rich versus poor, married versus, I'm assuming, unmarried, externally motivated versus internally motivated. Good fodder for writing. Yeah, it all is. It's all the breadth of human experience, for sure. Yeah, none of this disqualifies you from being a writer, or a good or bad writer. It's all, there are extroverted writers, introverted writers, and everything in between. Yeah. Emperor Finland, I retired at the age of 28. Man, I don't know how you pulled that off, Emperor Finland, but I don't think I'm ever, even if I wanted to, gonna be able to retire, because would like I can't even afford healthcare. So, and that's gonna become a necessary thing as I get older. So, I retire every night. Yep. Emperor Finland. Now I have half a century to do something, or until the pension system collapses. Oh shit, you are actually retired. Well, congrats. Well done. Well done. Well done for that. Boy, I wish I'm envious of you. We're all married either to someone else or a demon in a bottle. That's not wrong. You're not wrong to a degree. Yep. I mean, I'm pretty much at this point. I figure I'm married to me trying to be a filmmaker and my furry aging cats. Those are the only two big obligations I have in my life at this point. You know, and on the off chance, you know, I have to be around, you know, for extended family in case, you know, something terrible happens. But other than that, I'm all right. I'm fine. I don't know how I did that either. It just happened and I'm not fighting it. Yeah, don't fight it. Do not fight it. Oh, okay, full-time disability pension? Oh, man, the paper said. Okay, well, I hope that whatever it's referring to, it's not a huge deal and that you're okay. Or at least satisfied with your life. You don't get to be Emperor of Finland for naught. That is true. That is a true thing. Turns to retirement at the age of 65, I think. Yeah, 65. Since I will turn 30 this year. Okay. Disability pension. Yeah, the way that disability works out here, or at least in the States, is brutal. I have a friend of mine who was on disability because of they're going blind. And it's bad. Like, you essentially forces you to stay in poverty. It's really bad. It's not good. It's like really, really bad. So she can't make money. So she tries to do art installations. That's what she does in her spare time, but she can't make money. And they definitely don't pay enough for, you know, you to live in LA in anything like a studio or anything like that. And she's married. That means I'm 35 years. Yeah, 35 years. Okay, that makes sense. 15, 33, 05. Oh, that's the pension amount? Is that per monthly? In I'm assuming that's in Finland. I don't think this sounds. I don't think this sounds poverty, given that rent is like 670. Oh man, yeah, nope, nope, nope. For retrospect, well, not for retrospect. For comparison, so where I live in LA, and my rent is low because of the COVID protection, so they haven't been allowed to raise rents here um, for the past few years. But rent where I live in LA, which is less than it is everywhere else around me, and it's also low income. It's also rent controlled. Um, my rent is $2,000 a month, so that's that's how much it costs to live in LA. I mean, I had a terrible studio apartment almost a decade ago, and it cost me $1,000 pretty much. Um, let's see here. You operate on 50 to 150 line. Okay, gotcha. Okay. Where? Yeah, various etc. Where is rent success? I'm assuming it's in Finland, and I've spent some time in Scandinavia. At least not in Finland, but I've been to Denmark and Norway, and spent a lot of time in Denmark. So yeah, they their rents are it's not comparable, and they also have a far more expansive welfare and support network out there. So um, yeah, I live on a place that has like 30,000 people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I want to cry. Yeah. In the middle of nowhere. It's in Finland. The key is to not live in the capital area. I mean, even then, man, when I was in Copenhagen, the prices in Copenhagen were not bad at all. Like, I mean, it was expensive, like, to live in terms of, like, eating and stuff, but the people I was staying with, their rent, well, I think they were renting to own their place, and that was not bad at all. Also, the same thing in Germany too. They had like particular. I was in Berlin, so Berlin has different rules. It kind of operates a little differently than the rest of Germany, but it is. Yeah, you realize how bad. Yeah, yeah. Don't go to any other country. You start to realize how bad like how, how bad it is over here sometimes. Uh, yeah. I don't know if I could live in Finland. My rent was 565 when I moved in this place 10 years ago. If I was actually in the middle of nowhere, and if I did not live on a two-room apartment, I would pay like 300 €400. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. No, I'm not leaving. I fucked it. Yeah, don't. Yeah, don't. Don't. It's bad. it's, it's I could talk at length as someone who has I have not lived with family or parents since I was 17, and had to live on my own, and it's and having done that for at least 14, 15 years now, it's rough. It's real rough. I do not recommend it, particularly if you're low income. Um, Can't marry a Finn since you're on disability pension. Oh, gotcha. So it's a person also qualifies for it. However, if I marry a foreigner, oh, I see. She also qualifies for it. Nice. Good. Good. That's good. Alrighty. Okay, I think we should go ahead and yeah, for the citizen stuff. Yeah. Oh yeah, I would not be above it, man. If I met someone in Denmark or Norway, I would absolutely. I mean, at this point, even Canada, I'll just take it for the healthcare. I will literally just take it for free healthcare, or at least taxed. I'll take the increased tax rate for the healthcare. Um, I'll even go to Canada. I don't care. It's whatever it is better than here. I just want to go to the doctor. Everybody, no, but yeah, very 600. I can be a wife. Yeah. Violate a male or a husband for healthcare. That'll be my ad in the. That would be all of it if you squint. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. We can all start plotting our plans to. We can all start plotting our plans to try to marry ourselves off to foreigners to go live in other countries. I actually did apply for a work visa in Canada. I actually have been. There's a part of me that really wants to live in Vancouver. Not because I think it's the best place to live, but it's also Hollywood 2.0, and I get health care. But I have to pay double taxes for a long time, which I'd have to be making a lot more than I make now to make that work. But we'll see. Maybe someday. Maybe someday. Yeah, I curse my ancestors for having moved from Norway to the U.S. back when it was really bad in Norway. I'm like, man, if they had just hung on, if they had just hung on a little bit longer, like one of the most like robust welfare states in the world. If they had, yeah. But yeah, but no, they wanted to go to the land of opportunity. Yeah, I actually went to some of the areas that I actually got to go see what some of the because they were tenant farmers, kind of the qualities that they like the areas that they lived in one of the Norwegian museums, and it was brutal. Like I can see why they did it. It was really really bad back then. That would have been the 1860s, I think, 1870s. It was before whatever. It was before Norway's revolution. So no no no. I've been to Norway. It's great. It's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was gonna be like Norway. Norway is radically not like that at all. No, Norway. I, I loved Norway. Yeah. When I was working in Denmark, I definitely took the boat more than once up to Norway. I love Norway. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because they found the oil for sure. But even the oil, like even before their oil, they had a pretty robust. The way that they had everything set up there was pretty impressive. Like they didn't even need the oil. The oil just made it extra nice. Um, Finland seems poor to that. Yeah, that was my favorite thing talking to Danish people. They're like, they don't want to be a part of the EU. They got their oil. Which I always find is funny. You talk to people in Denmark or in Sweden. Um, yeah, yeah, it's like twice the Finnish. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, would be nice to be somewhere it snows again. Yes, me too. I miss snow. I mean, I lived in the mountains, so I grew up in the desert, moved to the mountains in the snow. Some of the happiest years of my life, and now I live once again in the Los Angeles desert. But luckily, I can go to the mountains and see snow like 2 hours away, which is nice. But still not. It's not the same as like the Rockies or like real living in real weather. So, all right, I have babbled far too long. Let us go ahead and start our next sprint. All right. While we discuss the GDPs of the Scandinavian countries. Time to stare at my page. Yeah, right, right. All right. Happy writing, everybody. We'll see you on the other side. And there we go, everybody. That is the end of that sprint. And that shall be the final sprint of the night, at least for me. But I hope for everybody else out there, it was a productive writing day. And if you keep on writing, you managed to write stuff. Fantastic. Various and sundry. That's great. Good. Things happen. Actually, it's funny that you say that on mine. I think I finally was able to, like, clarify each of my main characters, like, core, like, thing they're not directly conscious of as their goal trying to get through, but it's the thing that they're emotionally contending with, which is what's going to get me through my whole second act. So I managed to make 2 big breakthroughs there, and now I just have to let those ruminate and let the scenes kind of bubble out of them. So I'm glad you were able to get stuff done. I was able to actually nail down some core stuff, so hopefully that'll work. Emperor Village probably go to bed. It's 5:15 a.m. But Hey, I mean, you don't have to be up for work in the morning, so, you know, embrace that life, man. I would what I would give if I didn't have to do, like, the traveling for work stuff. I would probably stay up till 5 in the morning and be fine. But I do need to start getting better about my sleep schedule is so messed up, and I know that some of these, like, travel jobs are going to start hitting me where I need to go to the East Coast and be up at 5 in the morning East Coast time, which is like 2-3 in the morning here. So I need to get my sleep schedule normalized, because I've recently been staying up to like 4 in the morning. So alrighty, well, I think that is gonna do it. But let us, at least for me, that's gonna do it. But let's see, who can we go say hello to? And we'll go ahead and drop you all off. So for those of you who want to keep doing sprints, you can keep on working and keep on writing. Let's see here. Who is up? Oh, JC Boom's on. What are they up to? Let's go say hi to JC Boom. It's been a while. All right. Bum. Boo, boo, boo. What is happening? There we go. Alrighty, so we're going to go and say hi to JC Boom, but for me, that's going to be it. If you're around tomorrow, I'll be on tomorrow. If not, we will catch you all later. Alright. Boom. Happy writing, everybody.